Back, everybody. I'm Brad Means.
I'm Jenny Montgomery. Thanks for joining us. Coverage you can count on begins with a look at the opioid addiction that is crippling our country.
No, it really is. Every day, dozens of people die from an opioid overdose. In 2016, in fact, there were more than 64,000 drug overdose deaths. The sharpest increase, those related to synthetic opioids. And you hear numbers like that all the time. What about the success stories, those who are beating addiction? Well, News Channel 6's Ashley Osborne now to share some of those in a special report.
This story has two parts. First, you'll hear from a doctor who's part of a treatment program leading people on a path to recovery. Second, you'll hear from two local women who are living drug-free. They've also dedicated their lives to helping others do the same. Dr. Richard Montgomery graduated from the Medical University of South Carolina in the late 90s.
I remember the opioid push.
The theory opioids weren't used enough and needed to be prescribed more. He's now a practicing psychiatrist specializing in addiction and works with an aversion therapy program at Schick-Shadle Hospital in Seattle.
If you ever get food poisoning at a restaurant, do you ever go back to that restaurant again? There's a reason for that.
They're capitalizing on this survival instinct to reverse substance abuse.
When you're nauseated and you're sick and you're getting over it, your brain is hard writing what it was that you ate and recognizes it as a danger and doesn't go back to it.
Participants spend 10 days in a clinical setting going through treatments designed to associate their vice with sickness.
They're not becoming averse to the euphoria of an opioid. They're becoming averse to the smell, the sight, the taste, the repetition, the ritual of doing it.
Critics say it's a harsh punishment.
Nothing could be further from the truth. This is not punishment. This is capitalizing on an aversion pathway that already exists.
The goal is for patients to develop a healthy indifference to drugs and alcohol.
This is the most effective eradication of craving I've seen, especially for alcohol.
Local woman Jessica Hunt had a long road to escape the depths of addiction.
Countless felonies, misdemeanors, which finally led me into a treatment facility, and it is, my duty to help other women to achieve that same goal.
Now she leads a recovery center of her own, setting women up with jobs and skills needed to stay drug-free.
I aspire one day to change the stigma of addiction altogether. I am somebody's friend and daughter first, and then I'm a person in recovery.
She also helped start some of the first recovery meetings for women at the Richmond County Jail.
And I think that's a positive thing, because the very first time that I was ever exposed to any kind of solution, it was in a jail facility.
She and friend Samantha Laughlin put drugs in their past roughly 3 years ago.
People get the misconception that you can't have fun in recovery, which is an absolute lie.
Ready to get savage today?
They just completed a savage race together.
There was an obstacle on there at the end where you're climbing up a rope, and we have all these people that you did not know helping you up.
The kind of hand she needed out of a life centered around getting high.
A power greater than myself that is always available to me, that I have to reach out to and tap into.
And for that strength, she taps into her relationship with God.
I spent a lot of times reading the Bible and finding out what God says about me, that I'm fearfully and wonderfully made, that I'm the righteousness of Christ, and before I was created in my mother's womb, I was set apart.
Recently, she played the part of the it girl in a music video. She realizes her desire to be that girl when she was young, mixed with her feelings of abandonment, pushed her towards drugs and alcohol.
When I used, I felt beautiful and I felt popular. I had to reach inside to that little girl inside that wanted to be noticed and stop believing the lies that I told myself, that I wasn't beautiful, that I wasn't worthy. I am somebody today, that I have purpose and meaning.
Now Samantha goes out of her comfort zone often, knowing her vulnerability has the power to save lives.
Any opportunity that I have to share my experience, strength, and hope, whether it's at my job or it's at the gas station or it's to somebody that I don't even know, I'm telling it. Because my life, I just can't describe how great and rich it is today. I came from such a dark place. There is light at the end of the tunnel, that there is hope.
In fact, that's how Samantha and I met. We were complete strangers. She opened up, shared her story with me, and it became the inspiration for this segment. Ashley Osborne, WJBF.